What's going on YouTube? It is Team Gridlock here. I'm your host Enrico, and I have to say to all my wonderful, beautiful faces out there, this is just miss you, love you, love you. Welcome back to our channel. Today we have a Transformer TCG deck profile of Classic Dino Bots. Now I'm a huge fan of Dino Bots, mainly the classic ones, because I honestly think the classic Dino Bots are way better than the Combiner Dino Bots. The Combiner Dino Bots aren't that bad. I just honestly think that this deck is more aggressive and more consistent. And overall, I love this Grimlock. This Grimlock is basically one of the best characters in the game, just for the fact that he does have the trample ability. And when you flip onto this side, he can give any Dino Bot Bold 3. But overall, I honestly think Classic Dino Bots are definitely the way to go, besides playing Combiner Dino Bots. I've been playing this deck ever since Transformers first started. I've been winning a lot of games. Some games I do lose. My worst matchups are usually Sentinels and Insecticons. But overall, I've been having a lot of games with this deck, and so far it's actually working out pretty well. So remember, guys, to comment, like, and subscribe, and let's get on the deck with the deck profile. First character that we're going to talk about is Dino Bot Snarl. He's 4 attack and 2 defense on this side with 9 health. When you flip onto this side, if you have no cards in your hand, you can draw 2 cards. Now, the issue that I have with this card is that I only play 1 Dino Chomp. So usually I do have a hand. Usually I do have like 1 or 2 cards in my hand. But if I do play too aggressively, and if I don't have any cards in my hand, then usually I do flip onto this side to draw 2 cards. But overall, we want him to stay on this side because he has 5 attack and of course 2 defense. But whenever he attacks, I can put 1 card from my hand to the top of the deck. And usually I want to put a double orange pip or maybe a white pip. So he can make a huge attack. Maybe he can get up to 9 attack, or God forbid 11 or 10 attack. But if I upgrade him with a grenade launcher or supercharge or anything like that, Dino Bot Snarl can potentially one-shot kill a character by himself. Next, we have Dino Bot Sludge. Basically, this card is one of the biggest lifesavers in Transformer TCG. What this card does is amazing, especially for the fact that if I'm losing the game, I can literally flip onto this side and make a comeback in the game. So he's 4 attack, 12 health, 1 defense on this side. When you flip onto this side, I can take all the damage from my other characters and put it on him. So for example, let's say all my characters have 8 damage. And if I flip onto this side, I can literally take all 8 damage from each of my other characters and put onto him. Unfortunately, it will KO him, but I will have 2 newly refreshed characters that can take more damage. So this card is broken, especially with I Still Function, because again, I Still Function, I can bring him back, flip him to this side, and then recover all my characters to bring me back into the game. On the other side, we mainly want him to stay on this side, just the fact that if he is KO'd, and if we do bring him back with I Still Function, we can just flip him that turn. But on this side, whenever my Dino Bots attack, I can heal 1 damage. Usually, that's not really a big deal because overall, we do want Sludge to die first. We do want Sludge to be KO'd first. So his effect doesn't really go off that much, but again, healing 1 damage kind of does help a little bit. Now, the main MVP of the deck is Grimlock, just the fact that he's broken, one of the best aggressive characters that we have. On this side, he's 4 attack, 12 health, 2 defense, and whenever you flip onto this side, I can give any Dino Bots Bold 3. Now, I can set up my other Dino Bots, or God forbid if I have Escape Route in my hand, I can set up Grimlock himself to attack with a +3 Bold. But on this side is the one you want to be on. He has 6 attack, and whenever he attacks my opponent's character, if I do trample it, if I do KO it that turn, any extra damage that I dealt to that character, my opponent chooses where it goes. Usually that's not that great because my opponent is choosing where it goes. I wish I can choose where it goes, but still, overall, that's a great effect. It's a trample ability. It's a trample effect. You can't go wrong with that. Grimlock, again, I usually set him up, flipping him a lot in the games. But overall, Grimlock is your #1 character that you do want to stay alive until the end of the game. Now, for upgrades, you play 3 Matrix of Leadership. This card, again, is broken just for the fact that we do have a leader card. Grimlock is our leader, so whenever we put on Grimlock, it gives all my other characters +1 attack and +1 pierce. Overall, it's a great card. Again, it's a great utility. It beefs up my characters overall, and it's an orange and blue pip. Next, we play 3 Grenade Launcher. This card is basically a staple in every aggressive deck, but Grenade Launcher plus with Grimlock is a very scary attack. We also play 3 Flamethrower. Of course, this gives my character +2 bold. Basically, I mean, it could potentially help me hit more double orange pips, or God forbid, helps me hit a white pip to hit more orange pips. We play 3 force field, of course, to help us make sure our characters don't get one-shot killed, especially against other aggressive decks. But we mainly play it for the fact that it's a white pip. We play 2 Jaws of Steel. Unfortunately, it's a utility, so mainly I don't put it on Grimlock. I usually put it on Sludge or Snarl. But overall, Jaws of Steel is basically another flamethrower. We play 1 Bastion Shield because Bastion Shield is one of the best upgrades in the game. Technically, it's one of the best armors in the game because it has a built-in ramming speed inside of it. And it's really easy to search for it because it has a green pip. Last upgrade, we play 1 Erratic Lightning. This card is broken with a Grimlock. So let's say, for instance, if I know I'm going to one-shot kill my opponent and I want to deal more extra damage, I can put Erratic Lightning on one of my characters on Grimlock. Grimlock attacks. Let's say Grimlock has 14 damage. I'm sorry, 14 attack because of this card, and 6 of it kills my opponent, and then another 8 damage goes somewhere else. So Erratic Lightning does give my character 3 attack, but it doesn't take away 1 defense. This deck, we don't really rely on defense, so of course the -1 defense isn't that bad. We play I Still Function mainly for the fact that we want to combo this card with Sludge, and God forbid if they actually one-shot kill Grimlock, we can bring back Grimlock with I Still Function. Of course, we play 3 ramming speed because there's a lot of armor out there, especially Bastion Shield. Almost every deck plays Bastion Shield, so of course we want to get rid of that 1 extra defense, and we just play 3 ramming speed. Next, we play 3 Press the Advantage. This card is amazing. I honestly think this card should have never been made. What this card does is, I can choose one of my Autobots, it gets +2 attack until the end of the turn, and then if my opponent has any Decepticons, I can give that Decepticon -2 defense until the end of the turn. This card is simply unfair. Just for the fact that, again, I mainly play Autobots, and if I do play against a Decepticon deck, for example, Insecticons, this card is amazing. It just helps me make sure I can one-shot kill one of the characters, and God forbid if I play this card on Grimlock and if it's attacking a Decepticon, usually that Grimlock is going to deal a lot of damage. But overall, this card is amazing just for the fact that it's easy to search with because it has a green pip. This card should be nerfed, in my honest opinion. I think this card is way too good for Autobots. Next, we play 3 Incoming Transmission. Basically, it's our draw card. We draw 2 cards, and then we put 1 card from my hand to the top of the deck. Usually, we put a double orange pip or maybe a white pip just to set up our character attacks, and this card basically maybe might help me set up with a Grimlock. Next, we play 3 Supercharge. This card is basically a staple in every orange deck. What this card does is I can give one of my characters a +3 bold. Usually I put it on Grimlock, or sometimes I put it on Sludge and Snarl because potentially I can one-shot kill my opponent. I can one-shot kill one of my opponent's characters. Usually Supercharge does win me games. Supercharge hasn't really failed me yet, but overall Supercharge is definitely a mandatory in Dino Bots. We play 3 Peaceful Tyrannies. Of course, this card is very unfair. We mainly play it because it's a double orange pip, but its effect is too broken. It's basically the nail in the coffin to make sure that I can win that game. So usually if all my opponent's characters are tapped out, and if I have a Grimlock standing by himself, I can Peaceful Tyranny, kill one of my characters, and then I get an extra turn. So Grimlock will attack, and then when it's my turn again, I can restand Grimlock, and of course attack with Grimlock one more time. So Peaceful Tyranny is very, very unfair, just for the fact that, again, we want Grimlock as our main MVP, and this card with Grimlock just wins too many games. We play 2 Escape Routes, mainly for the fact that this card, I treat it like a Supercharge because usually I set up Grimlock. Usually I flip over Sludge first and then Grimlock. I attack with Sludge, Snarl, and then Grimlock. So usually when I attack with Grimlock, the turn that I'm attacking with Grimlock, I play Escape Route to flip Grimlock to give himself a +3 bold, and then I flip Grimlock to attack on his bot mode. So Escape Route, overall, it's a great card. I mainly treat it like a Supercharge, and also for the fact that it's a green pip, so I can search for it pretty easily. Last card, we play 1 Dino Chomp. Of course, a lot of people are going to criticize me for that. A lot of people are probably going to hate me. Why are you only playing 1 Dino Chomp? Simple answer is it's a blue pip. I am not a fan of Dino Chomp that much because it's a blue pip. It shouldn't be blue. I mean, it's better than not having a pip, but overall, I'm not too much of a fan of it because it is a blue pip card. But it is a one-shot kill turn. So I usually save this card for late game because late game this card is amazing. God forbid if I have a Grimlock. Dino Chomp with Grimlock wins games. Of course it does. but we only want that to happen late game. So if you do play 3 Dino Chomps or two Dino Chomps, if you do have them early game, they're a dead card in your hand, because usually you don't want to play Dino Chomp early game. Dino Chomp overall, it is a great card. I'm just not too much of a fan of it. So that's my Dino Bot deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This deck is super fun, and it's pretty consistent just with the fact that I've been playing this deck since the beginning, and so far I've been having a lot of great matchups. I've been having a lot of great games, but so far this deck is super fun. My worst matchups are Insecticons and Sentinels, but thanks to Press the Advantage, going against Insecticons actually isn't that bad anymore. I just need to draw into these as fast as possible. Against every other orange deck, it's not that bad as long as they KO Sludge first, and if I have Grimlock last, I still function Sludge to bring back to fully heal Grimlock so Grimlock can keep attacking. Against heavy blue decks, if they don't KO Sludge immediately, I'm going to keep healing my characters every single time I attack. So it's basically an uphill battle for every blue deck against my Dino Bot deck. And since we're playing another card that's not Grenade Launcher, Erratic Lightning is actually super plus, just for the fact that we don't even care if we get -1 defense, because usually every blue deck, they don't really have like big attacks. They don't have bigger attacks than 5 damage. I mean, they can't really deal that much damage in one turn. So the -1 defense isn't that big of a deal. So Erratic Lightning actually comes in super clutch. It's basically a semi grenade launcher. But overall, this deck is pretty fun. I hope you guys do try out this build. If you guys have any comments, leave a comment down below. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, definitely subscribe to the channel for more Transformer TCG content. And of course, hit that like button if you guys enjoyed the video. So that's my deck profile for Dino Bots, and I will see you guys later. Deuces.